Isam had a unique experience few can relate to, one that involved encountering terrifying beings. Some identify as jinn, while others describe them as dark, featureless entities that induce feelings of dread and aversion. Could what Isam saw in his grandfather's house have been these dark creatures? The narrator, Isam, recounts, "My name is Isam. I'm 29 years old. My grandfather passed away at 80. My father, deeply attached to him, sank into depression following his death. Despite our efforts to lift his spirits, he resisted mightily, tending towards solitude in his room for nearly a month, emerging only for minimal food, prayers, or bathroom visits. Even visitors were met with closed doors. My mother proposed a family trip to break our routine and kindle new hope, but my father sternly declined. Days later, he requested to visit his late father's house, a visit he earnestly yearned for. I immediately offered to join him on what would be a 2-day trip, and he agreed, retreating again to his somber reflections. My grandfather's house was bleak and dust-laden. I began by cleaning, exhausting myself as my father sought refuge in my grandfather's old bedroom. Having dusted what I could, I rested briefly on a couch in the hallway and soon dozed off out of sheer fatigue. Believe it or not, in my slumber, I found myself hovering above, gazing at my sleeping form, observing the house from above. Beside me was my grandfather, his face etched with sorrow. Below us, dark creatures, short with glowing red eyes, tugged at my legs as I lay on the couch, all while my grandfather's feet were untouched. They hauled at me until I almost plummeted off the couch. I tried calling out to my father, but a force seemed to stifle my screams. Suddenly, I woke up. Upon awakening, I felt sharp pain in my legs and began yelling for my father. His face turned pale upon seeing me, and he hastened to help me up and out of the house. My legs were red, bearing burn marks as though seared by a hot iron rod. We visited a sheikh, and my father advised me to remain silent during the recount. He then told the sheikh that my grandfather had practiced black magic, commanding several serving jinn. However, these jinn were not freed upon his death. My father continued to see his father weeping in dark, gloomy places. The sheikh advised him to go to the house and free the jinn to gain peace. When we returned, the sheikh recited powerful incantations to liberate the jinn, but instead, the jinn attempted to possess me, causing no harm. The sheikh advised us to persist in reading the Quran and for me to bathe in sanctified water. I had begun seeing people entering our home and crowding the bathroom, hearing their conversations. The sheikh clarified that I was possessed, but insisted on constant recitation of the Quran. To this day, I don't know for what purpose my grandfather harnessed the jinn or when I'll fully recover from these visions. For they still surround me as I tell you this story.